You're welcome. Can I take this, sit down and give me a minute? Okay. Let's go ahead, one piece of furniture left.
Just a little bit more like. People in the back here, am I all right?
No.
Well, I haven't set a whole lot.
Another two, maybe.
We'll do this.
Right on. There you go.
Good shot. Good shot. Part-time tech services.
All right, well, thank you for your presentation. That was very nice. I appreciate hearing your 90-day plan. We're going to move into the question and answer portion here, and we have a number of questions. We cannot possibly get through all of them. So,
Before we get into that, can I just say something real quick?
of course.
I just want to acknowledge my wife is here again, and she, as I mentioned before, incredibly patient and supportive. My two boys are back here as well, so they have my back. Yep, and their wives are here too. So they're in the back. So, but that's I appreciate them being here, and I just wanted to share. You know, like I said before, it's about getting back here with the family. My daughter that's at Michigan State, I'm gonna tell you she's studying, so that's why she's not here. So.
She says she's studying.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Welcome to your family. We're glad most of them were able to be here. That's great. So as I was saying, lots of questions. We can't possibly get through them all, but I think maybe the easiest way to do this so that we all have a chance to hopefully ask a similar amount of questions is I'm going to start down there, and we're just going to go down the line and then swing back around and get through as many as we can to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
So Mary, you may go ahead.
So we have all these questions, and we're figure out a way to get organized. We're going to announce what category we're drawing from, so we can X them off, so we don't ask each other one questions. They're all the same.
Okay.
But I'm going to start in a bit of a kerfuffle and put one on there that was not included. It's other ones I checked with Dave. It's just got the what I do.
So no category. Got it.
But asterisk is where I'd love to ask it.
Okay.
Our district is having a difficult time finding quality support staff applicants. What are some ways or ideas you would try in order to hire quality applicants for our support staff positions?
And that is tough. It's all over. Some of the things that we've done that's been successful. The first is we had an incentive for referrals. We've had a lot of success with that. We actually pay $500 for the first referral and $1,000 for every referral thereafter with our support staff. That was really something around transportation because we had a significant need. We've got plenty of drivers now, not just because of that, but we've also negotiated some contracts that keep people there. Some attendance incentives and those types of things that keeps them committed going throughout the year. If they make it through the year, then there's some financial stipend that we would pay them. We went old school and had job fairs. Had job fairs, and that actually worked pretty well for our support staff, our bus drivers, in food service, our custodial maintenance team. We've had success with those, and we've continued to do those over the last 2 years. At first, HR director looked at me like I was crazy, but that's where you oftentimes get your support staff is within your community. Also advertising in like local papers and coffee shops and some of those local areas, because a lot of times that is the case. Now, I know that in this community, that's not always going to be the case. We are going to have drivers that are going to drive for 40 minutes. So again, it's one of those things. Our biggest recruiters are those that are within the team. And so if we can do some things to really make it a great culture when they are here, they're going to help advocate to bring in others that they care about.
Thank you. Well, and building on the question that Mary just asked, your next question is, 25% of our respondents from our focus groups indicated that morale or support was a challenge for the next superintendent. This was more than double any other category in that survey. How would you address that concern?
So 25% don't think they'll get enough support, or kidding. That is education right now, right? It's a very difficult profession, and that's why it's important that good people maintain and stay in it. That is part of the 90 days, really learning and talking with staff. And so the children have changed, parents have changed, our profession has changed, and ultimately it's about, again, when I talk about the visibility and having those conversations, it's understanding what the needs are. When we don't know that unless we're asking the questions and we're communicating, the tough part is it's not just here that they're getting that, like for a better professional term, but beat down of the profession. It's happening all over the place, legislating into the classrooms. And so for me, that's part of the role of being a legislative advocate, too, is really communicating. This is how it impacts us. We can't just do what you're saying. The legislative meeting that I was at last week, it talked about the budget and about getting it done. And one of the things that I talked about is it's great we got a nice per pupil foundation increase, but all of those grants that you're making us go get, and then compliance report, we can really have like 45, 50 different grants that we have to do to go get the money anymore. It used to be that it's just part, and then you have a few categoricals here and there. So trying to help them understand that too, because tied with that is, oh, by the way, you have to train your entire staff in X, Y, and Z. And there's like 7 bills like that. And so we only have so many hours that we can train, and we were kind of interested in doing what's best for our students, within our district, not what was in this legislative bill. So we talked about that. But that's going to be important to understand what's in place. Well-being committee is something that we use in our district, and that is something that has been really nice because it kind of creates a team within the school. We actually have competitions, whether it's how much you exercise and you put it in, and then what's your average, and then you get gift cards and those kinds of things, but some different things to really try to build team. We've done things as far as, again, getting out. We had lunches for everybody, and we did that as central office staff. We actually have a big grill that we would move around in the districts and the different buildings in the district. So just really trying to be visible as well and help them understand that we're here to support you. We can't fix everything, but we sure can try to listen and make the impact that we can. The support of students is really, really important because that impacts the staff. When the staff are getting, hit, poked, swore at, all the things that unfortunately are realities in public education, they have to know that they're supported, and there might be a social worker that can come in and help, or there might be an instructional coach that can help with the engagement so the student behavior is better, like those kinds of things. But just really understanding what's going on in the classroom and what the needs are.
I'd like to ask a follow-up question to that too, because you really are giving me the impression that you actively engage at the legislative level. And I just wondered, what motivates you to do that besides the fact that you are managing a district? Is that also a personal interest?
I think it is because it makes an impact in education as a total, and that's why I do the work that I do. And when I say that I am, engaged, so I'm on the Oakland County Superintendents Association Legislative Committee, and so we meet on a monthly basis, and then we also have legislative breakfasts. There's actually 8 of them that are separate from our legislative committee meetings. And we the K-12 Alliance is another group that I've worked with, an advocacy group. So it's really about understanding what's going on so that we can circumvent the craziness that is out there. So that's really what my interest is. Sometimes when you look at a lot of the legislation, it has nothing to do with Forest Hills, Lake Quarry, and it just has, there's certain districts that aren't doing the work that's necessary to support students or to support staff, and so we all have to do it. We like the dyslexia bill right now that's going on. We do that work in this district. I'm confident of that. So I works with this district. And we do it in Lake Orion. We don't need to be told this prescriptive tool and then how to respond. We don't need that. We are doing that work already. Yes.
All right, this question for my board members comes from the curriculum and instruction category. So my question is, what does meaningful academic rigor look like to you in light of the mental health of our kids, especially our high school students? And how do you hold your staff accountable to your definition of meaningful academic rigor?
So learning is very individual, and I think that that's important to understand. I think that it's important that our students are having joy and success. I think that that's important. I think and again, it's a cultural thing, understanding how students are pushing themselves, our parents pushing themselves, and the school pushing themselves. So I think that rigor is individual. I think providing a lot of opportunities for students to find their passion and to be inspired in their own way of learning, and that's one of the things that's great about some of the programming that we have in the school district is they can get to those places. I think sometimes if you're a highly driven student, you're your own worst enemy as far as your social emotional, because you're trying to compete constantly, maybe with your friend or your social group. And I think that it's important as a school district that we do foster those hopes and dreams, but make sure they understand why they're doing what they're doing. Is it essential for them to continue to do that, and are there electives that they can take? When you look at the different requirements, unfortunately, there's not a ton of electives that students can take within a schedule, so kids will pile onto the APs if they're a highly driven student. But potentially looking at are there ways to get our students into some of these inspirational job type of courses as well. I think that that's really important. As far as holding staff accountable, I guess what do you mean by that when you say that? Because accountable has a lot of different definitions, and I just want to make sure that's what you're wondering.
I guess I just mean, how do you create that culture in the schools? It's, education, any career field, it's really easy just to do what you've always done. This is how I was trained to be a teacher. So I'm just curious, how do you make that a pervasive part of the culture of the school system?
So one of the things that I do to be honest, to an annoying level, is ask a lot of questions. And I think if you ask why a lot, you get to helping yourself understand, but it also helps the staff that you're asking that question to, that they understand why they're doing it. That has been something in the last two districts that I've been in, and probably similar here. Highly successful districts, it's been working, so why do we need to change it? Well, it's not necessarily why do we need to change it, but why do we need to continue it is really what I want to hear, not just because we've always done it. So as far as accountability, it is a matter of really helping them understand why they're doing it, and is it still best practice? It may not be, but it may be as well. And I think that helps you hold them accountable to either grow or to continue to